Okay, this is NXT WarGames. Now, I gotta say this ahead of time. I really didn't want to watch this. I'm glad I did, and I'm not gonna lie about that. I'm glad I did watch it, but I'm not gonna lie. Look, guys, I barely looked at NXT because I've been so badly turned off by the main roster, and I know a lot of people say, "Dude, watch NXT. It's better." When you look at how NXT has been, every single time, and I want to make this clear to anyone, any single time you watched NXT, you see great talent there with great stories, great ring action, and it felt like a real good show. But you can't tell me that you don't think in the back of your head that eventually a lot of these talents that are doing so great is going to go to the main roster, and guess what happens? Look at Ember Moon. Where's she now? Nowhere. Nowhere. Look at Nikki Cross, the crazy twisted sister. Nothing. Look at Kevin Owens, who I'll explain about Kevin Owens during this review, but look how bad Kevin Owens looked. Horrid. Finn Balor, who also returned. Horrid. Anyone who's gone to the main roster from NXT has looked horrible. Why would you care looking at a product that you know 100%, yeah, it's a great ride until you have to watch the main roster, which I was doing reviews of. I couldn't take it anymore. What bits of NXT I watched and I was interested, I got turned off. So doing Impact Wrestling, doing AEW, now doing NWA Power. My schedule, how it's done for Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday is pretty locked. So you think about NXT, and it's like, since I'm already disenfranchised with the main roster, it's not that hard to be turned off from NXT. But I looked at this show. I looked at this pay-per-view, and it was a great pay-per-view. It wasn't bad. It was well done, well executed. Some things were set up for when they have their next show, and I'm fine with that. I'm alright with it. Let's go through this quickly because there's no reason to do it very long. The women's war game was first up. Now, Mia Yim was taken out early. And it was Ripley had decided to bring in Dakota Kai to replace her, so she can get revenge. Now, if you saw the match, which I'm sure you guys did, it was a good match. And the twist for me was when you saw Dakota Kai, and I believe it was Tegan Nox, that's her friend. Those are the last two that was waiting to go into the ring. And Dakota Kai was first. And Dakota looks back after she gets out of the cage and pretty much turns around and blasts Tegan Nox. If that's her first name, Tegan. Nox is down. She gets her leg beaten up. She gets herself beaten up. Her leg is put into the cage that is held and just smacked multiple times. Even though she was wearing her brace, it was smacked multiple times. She's out, and then you got Dakota Kai that doesn't even go into the ring. And Rhea Ripley is beside herself, freaked out. She's 2 women down now. But in the end, Ripley wins. It wasn't an easy win, and honestly, I wasn't surprised because she is going to be leading the team that's going into Survivor Series. So that's how this kind of felt. This is what it feels like going into Survivor Series. They have to still set it up to make some sense. Trying to put some momentum on it. And it wasn't a bad match at all. I did enjoy it. The person that was in there that was looking the best, well, the 2 people the best in that match was Rhea Ripley and the Bianca Belair. I still love Bianca, but if I have to choose between Ripley and Bianca, I admit I'll go for Ripley. She just seems to have a stronger look. She's about almost the same strength as a Bianca Belair. She just feels like a beast. Bianca is second in line. That's how she feels to me. You guys tell me below. The number 1 contender match going into Survivor Series, because you're going to have the NXT Championship, the SmackDown Championship, and the Raw Championship, I'm sure going to be defended each separately. As I thought it might be. I wasn't sure because admittedly, since I've not been watching WWE much at all, I mean, I've gone on when Raw's gone on to look maybe 2 minutes to see how it is, and when I see it's nasty, I just turn it off. Same for SmackDown. A couple of minutes, I'm done. So I wasn't sure about what was going to happen. So now knowing that each of the champions will be defending against their own rivals, that's understandable. So we have Killian Dane, Damon Priest, and Dunn from the NXT UK. I can't remember his first name because I only know about Dunn, but I don't really watch NXT UK much at all. Only saw maybe the premiere once, and that was a very long time ago. So was the match good? Yes. Damon Priest was a beast. I think Damon Priest should have won. But I understand why they put Dunn on it, because I believe he would be a good challenger for Adam Cole. Because he's a very technical and a big brawler. But I think Priest really should have won that. That's just me. You guys tell me below. Matt Riddle versus Finn Balor. Now, I'm sure people are not going to like what I'm about to say, who loves NXT. But honestly, it wasn't that the match quality was bad. It's just that I didn't care about Finn Balor. I understand he went back a month ago, and he's been back and he's been a heel, which a lot of people have been happy about, and that I knew that he became one. But you would think he would go as the Demon. I'm not going to lie here, guys. Hearing him as Prince Albert means nothing. He's not Prince Albert. He's the Prince. Honestly, I needed the Demon to make him feel different than he normally is, coming out in his leather jacket, standing the way he normally does. He needed to be the Demon. And he was not the Demon. And if you guys are happy with him not being the Demon, more power to you. But to me, nope. He feels like regular Finn Balor, just aggressive. Because as I watched the match, it was a good match. When you look at Matt Riddle, he is a very good technical wrestler. And I gotta admit this, and I'm gonna say this very clearly to anyone. I know you probably love it seeing him go barefoot, but he's gonna end up like Rusev eventually. He's gonna break a bone in a foot, and he will be turning to boots eventually. So enjoy what you got, because it's only a matter of time before he's gonna hurt himself and he's gonna revert to boots. Honestly, it was a good match. It really was a great match. And I didn't expect Finn Balor to lose. I guess the reason I botched there was due to the fact of this. Finn was not the Demon. He was regular old Finn, just more aggressive. And it didn't feel different. It didn't. I'm not saying Finn Balor's ring work is bad. It's his character that doesn't mean anything. If he's going to be the Prince of the Demons would be better than just Prince Albert from pretty much from New Japan Pro Wrestling. I want the Demon Prince, not Prince Albert. That's just me. You guys tell me below. Finally, the men's WarGames. Now, Johnny Gargano was taken out because of Finn Balor. So the question is going to be, when is the feud between Finn Balor and Johnny Gargano going to happen? Is it going to happen by December? Or is it going to happen at the beginning of January? How long will they keep Johnny Gargano off TV to make it look good? That's going to be the question. So you had 3-on-4. Even though supposedly Tommaso Ciampa had said, I'm going to have a replacement, he was not in the cage when it came to the match itself. I mean, the cage that held everybody in it. You got the other two guys, I can't remember their names. It's been so long since I watched NXT, and you probably see them in my face if I managed to take a shot of them both together. I'm not sure if I did. But when it came down to it, Undisputed Era brought all the people into the ring. They were dominant. Adam Cole was grabbing a lot of chairs, and by the time the fourth person was supposed to be announced for Ciampa's team, they were looking and didn't see anybody until Kevin Owens came out, which was the wisest thing to do. I'm actually glad Kevin Owens has gone back to NXT. I think compared to Seth Rollins, Kevin Owens is a better fit for NXT at this point. Because Seth, the way he is, I'm going to say this, guys. When it comes to ring work, Seth has become stale. Not because he can't wrestle, it's because he's become complacent. His promo segments have not really been interesting. Not because he can't do a good promo, it's because he's complacent. That's the way it is for him. He doesn't care. He's complacent. He's at the top. And as far as he's concerned, he can have it any way he wants. I can at least say when it came to Roman Reigns, and I'm stretching this here. When it comes to Roman Reigns, yeah, his promos were not good. But at least at one point or another, he at least tried. It was his booking that pissed everybody off. When it comes to Seth, he don't care anymore. So when it comes to Kevin Owens, it felt like in this match he cared. I think he was having fun out there. So that really gave the match a lot more interest for me personally. I was enjoying the match in that respect. The spots in the match, as I said before, I like a balanced match, but this was never meant to be balanced. So you got to go by how heavy the spots are. Were they really important? Like many of the matches in this pay-per-view, they were all very high impact spots that meant something, that had some type of urgency. So in this situation, it felt pretty good. When it came to the last spot that ended the match with Ciampa, it's in my face. Doing pretty much the move that Sheamus does, white noise, off the top of the cage onto a table, that was a nasty one. And there were a lot of nasty ones that came from the women, that came from the other matches. But this was a nasty match. Did I like this show? Yeah, I did. Unfortunately, I forgot to look at the kickoff show, so I don't know what happened there. So I'm sorry, guys. But would you enjoy this if you guys haven't seen it? You would. If you've been feeling really frustrated from WWE and you really don't want to think about anything, just watch the match and turn off your feelings about if this wasn't too over the top, and you'll be fine with it. For me personally, I did enjoy the match, but I'm going to say this very clearly. If anyone's thinking, well, maybe you're going to start doing NXT reviews. No. At this moment in time, I'm not going to do NXT. I just have that same feeling as I've had before. As I said for months and months, I don't see anything different from the WWE in general. And so many people are so happy about NXT. How long do you actually think NXT is going to stay the same way it is? I've been hearing the Lex Man. I've heard JD. There's been some frustration from JD. And the Lex Man, who will become eventually Alex in January, he stated himself, he's still alright with NXT, and I'm sure he's going to give this a great rating, and so will JD. But I'm just being honest here. We're talking about the WWE here with Vince, who sees the ratings not good. And as I said in the video I just put up before this one, will Vince do the right thing at Survivor Series? That's not the title, but will Vince do the right thing? I don't believe so. I believe NXT is going to be buried. I believe SmackDown will not get the ultimate win because they are currently on Fox. They want people to be seeing their company. They want them to see the product. But if Vince is Vince and he just cannot bring himself to do the right thing and let SmackDown be the most dominant and most prevalent brand of all three, then I don't see anything good for NXT. No matter how good the product is at this moment, it may just go from here to that very quickly if Vince decides to take over Triple H. As much as Paul Levesque poured his heart into NXT, that is Paul's work right there. I'm going to make this really clear. I know I've already finished the review, but I want to make this clear to anyone who loves NXT. Now, I should be watching it and forget about SmackDown and Raw. Just watch NXT. Look, Paul Levesque is basically reproducing the WWF in NXT. That is WWF. I'm saying X. F from the late 80s into the mid 90s into the early 2000s. That's what NXT is. That's what he's done. He has done a mirroring of what Vince once did over a 15-year period. That's what he did. And when it comes down to it, I just don't believe Vince will accept what's in front of him. As I said in my previous video, and I'll leave a link below, Right now, Vince has AEW, another competitor. He now has Impact that is on Axe TV that hopefully in the next year or two will improve their product. You got NWA Power. Yes, they have no contract with any network as far as I know. I could be wrong, but I don't know if they have a network contract yet. But with Baron, not Baron, Billy, I'm about to say Baron Corbin, with Billy Corgan, just as it is now, just being seen on YouTube, it's getting between 100 to 200 or more thousand views and several thousand likes. Vince doesn't see it. As much as everyone says, well, the indies are not 100% great, there's going to be some that's going to emerge that will get somewhere. And Vince is not seeing it. He's going to mess up this company. Fox is not going to take, knowing their ratings of their now new show is under or near 1 million viewers weekly. Yeah, it's jumped up to over 2.5 or 6 in the last one, the last ratings check. But if the products keep sliding as it is, I do believe Vince is going to have a major problem. So why am I going to watch a show that I know SmackDown sucks, Raw sucks, NXT, yes, is good now, but I can see the writing on the wall if I'm right, that Vince is going to take over in the beginning of January and he's going to ruin the product. Paul is not going to be able to do anything, aka the Triple H himself. He's not going to be able to do anything. So why am I going to care? I'm hoping I'm wrong in January. I'm hoping things will turn around, the main product will get better, and maybe I'll do reviews of it. But as it stands now, I just can't bring myself to doing it. But this is just my point of view. Maybe you guys can convince me. I just don't think it will happen, but give me a reason why I should go to NXT. Give me a reason why I should at least watch it. Not do a review, but just watch the damn show. Because I have no interest. Other than just checking out this pay-per-view, seeing it is good and I enjoyed it, but knowing that the product is going to go downhill very soon. But this is just me. Have a good day. Have a good night. Peace!